This game preview is brought to you by Manscaped's Premium Ultra Soft Boxer Briefs 2.0. Complete with the all-new jewel pouch to protect your stones. Use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Manscaped, the perfect tools to protect your jewels.
Cincinnati Bengals at 0-1 traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Bengals are 7-point favorites over the hometown Cowboys. The over-under for this game is 41.5 points. We do get to see the battle between the two offensive and defensive rookies of the year in Micah Parsons against Jamar Chase. Obviously, they don't go one-on-one against each other, but both are primed and ready to have big games in this one here. Which second-year player has the better game, Parsons or Chase?
Oh, if you base it on last week, I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. And the reason, when I say base it on last week, I know Jamar Chase had a really good game last week, but the Dallas Cowboys defense wasn't terrible against the pass. I thought they played pretty sound for the most part of that game. They gave up some yards, but they didn't give up a lot as far as like huge receiving numbers to any one player. I believe there was only two people that went over 50 yards on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, or on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, in Mike Evans and Julio Jones. And Micah Parsons was able to get after Tom Brady against two of the better tackles in football when we're talking about Tristan Wirfs on one side and Donovan Smith on the other. He got 2 sacks. Now you're going up against the Cincinnati Bengals team that let the Pittsburgh Steelers really get after them. And you have Lyle Collins over there, who's an ex-Dallas Cowboy in a revenge game. So I don't know. I think one thing I saw from Dallas last week is early in the game, Micah Parsons was playing that traditional linebacker role. And then as the game progressed, then Tom Brady had time. They were like, you know what? We can't do this. We got to put Micah Parsons on that defensive line and tell him to go get the quarterback. And so they did. And I thought their defense was much more successful later in that game. It's just the offense never was able to get anything. Tampa Bay they scored the 1 touchdown in the third quarter, and they didn't do anything really else the rest of the game. Dallas's offense just could never get anything going. So I think you see more of that. And I think that Micah Parsons ends up having a huge impact in this game. Not saying Dallas is going to win because of it, but I think they can hold Jamar Chase in check when it comes to not giving up, 150 and 2 touchdowns or something like that. So I'll take Micah Parsons in this one. I think he's able to get after Joe Burrow and cause some chaos on an offensive line that still looks like they need some polishing off.
Yeah, that's really where I want to go next here with the conversation is in the offseason, we saw the Bengals make some notable moves at the offensive line and bringing in Lyle Collins. I believe they brought in, it was Alex Cappa, right? That was the other offensive lineman that they brought in. They made big additions to this offensive line. And last week, we did not see a good performance out of that offensive line to protect their franchise quarterback. It was a mess of a game. It seemed like the same old Bengals from last year, and they brought in new pieces, so it really doesn't make sense. Joe Burrow was on his back the majority of the game. I know it's week 2 now, but are we looking at maybe frauds at this point with what we thought the Bengals or had hoped the Bengals offensive line would look like? Because these numbers last week for Burrow, I mean, this is the same exact Bengals offensive line that we saw last year. And now they have pieces like Leo Collins, Alex Cappa, a much better offensive line that we were all had high hopes for. Then this is what's happened in week 1. Just talk to that.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to say frauds, but let's be honest. I've said this, I don't know how many times over the course of the offseason. I don't care how many names you bring in, quote, names you bring in. What do you do as a cohesive unit on the field? We do this all the time. Oh, they went and signed this guy. They traded for this guy. They got this guy. You didn't even mention the fact that they also not only got Alex Cappa, but they got Ted Karras as well at the center position. And that's cool. They can have all the good pieces they want. If you don't line up and play football, none of those things matter. You can go get the dream team, but you still have to actually have it turn into actual production. And I don't know if I'm calling them frauds because the offensive line takes cohesiveness, it takes chemistry and time. And usually the best offensive lines are ones that have been together for a long time. So can they get to the point they want to get to? Absolutely. But are they there yet? Did we just think they were just going to automatically flip a switch? These are good players. They're going to come in and block everybody, and it's going to be all peaches and cream for the Cincinnati Bengals? No, I did not. I do expect a transition. I do expect them to get better week to week. But there is a serious concern with the amount of pressures they are allowing and allow the sacks and the hits on Joe Burrow has to be a concern for the Bengals. It has to be. If it's not a concern, then I don't know what the organization is thinking. You have – I don't want to say it, guys, but think about the NFL and what teams are doing. They're building around the pass rush. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence are also really good pass rushers. And, I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that when you look at their schedule and who they're going to have to play, they are going to have pass rushers each and every week that they are going to have to deal with. So it doesn't get easier. It only gets harder. And if they don't fix the things they have going on right now, then they're in for a long season. And yes, they might be talented enough to overcome some of those things as they were in the playoffs late last year. But that over the course of the season will get Joe Burrow killed. Teams, even like the Jets, if you want to talk about some of the pass rushers they have, the Dolphins, we've seen what they were able to do to Mac Jones, Baltimore, the Saints. Where is the easy pass rushing matchup? Maybe Atlanta, because they don't really have a whole lot. Maybe Carolina, but even them.
I don't know about Carolina.
Even them, they have some guys on the defense, but not necessarily pass rushers. But outside of that, all those other teams have really good pass rushes. You're going to be dealing with it all season long. So you got to fix it. If you don't fix it, they're in for a long season. And I'm not here to jump on the Bengals and say their season's over after 1 week. But you can't be a Bengals fan and not be concerned today. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat you the way they did, and they were not supposed to be that good of a team this year with Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, it's not even it's like look at that the week one how they performed against Pittsburgh, but we've talked about it before. You look at what Buffalo's doing, you look at what Kansas City's doing. You're not even close. You're not even close right now. Maybe that changes during the season, but after week one, you are far away from what Buffalo and Kansas City are doing right now. Again, lots of football still to be played. I do have the Bengals in this game. I'm going to go 27-17 Bengals. I think there's still the offense on the Dallas Cowboys side is still a concern with Cooper Rush being quarterback. But maybe we get a Minnesota game. Maybe we get a Cooper Rush versus Minnesota and he pops off, but I don't think that's going to happen here. Give me the Bengals here 27-17.
I'm taking the Bengals as well. If the Bengals lose this game,
sound the panic alarm. Sound the panic alarm.
I might not even hold back, and I don't even care. I might not even believe what I'm going to say on Monday. But if the Bengals lose this game, I'm so going in on the Bengals and the Bengals fans. I don't care that it's early in the season. I will sound the alarm. I will go in on the Bengals because they should not lose this game. You cannot start 0-2 in the AFC. You cannot start 0-2 by losing to a Pittsburgh and Dallas team that probably weren't in line to make the playoffs. Well, now Dallas, especially without Dak Prescott. You just can't. I will take the Bengals in this one, 23-13.
There you go. AJ has the Bengals here as well, 33-20. Our next
there's no way the Bengals scored 33 points on the Dallas defense.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I didn't want to go. I went 27 and thought that was a little aggressive, but I digress.